What happens if the home inspector comes in and finds some stuff wrong with the house? Okay, what happens to the sale at that point?
Okay. The buyer, on receiving the information about the home inspection, has a number of alternatives available to them. They can walk away, okay? And sometimes a home inspection clause, they, quote, tag it as the cold feet clause, okay? So if someone's looking for an out, for whatever reasons, the home inspection clause is often sometimes used as that exit strategy. They can also decide that they would like the seller to do the remediation or remedy the problem before close and provide the appropriate documentation for that. For instance, let's say it's a hole in the roof. So they will amend the deal to say seller will use X roofing company to replace and provide documentation within 2 weeks or a month before close. So that is now your responsibility. Or they can come back and they can say, this is newfound knowledge. We were not aware of this particular deficiency when we negotiated our price. So we would like to reopen negotiation now that we know that there's a $5,000, $6,000 deficiency, and submit a new price, or we are going to walk away. So you can reopen the negotiation. You can take on the repair yourself, okay? And sometimes that has limited impact on the buyer as well, because it's you doing the work, right? Like, I don't know how comfortable anybody else would be with, somebody who's going to be out of there, in a few months, getting the roofer in. They're going to get the lowest, the quickest, So it could have limited impact on the buyer. And then they always, right off the top, have the option to walk away from the deal.
Right? So the question is he saw that, Stone Mill does do design build, and we've seen a lot of houses in South Burlington that have great lots, but very small houses. What's the trend now? Big house, 3,000, 4,000 square feet, right? So what they do is come in, buy the house, bulldoze it, and put up a nice big house. So is it even worth you putting in any upgrades if somebody's going to come and just knock the thing down? In the front here, some of you may or may not know Mark and Trish Bryers. They work for TD Canada Trust. They work for our mobile mortgage specialist sales force. And they did exactly that. They bought a house in South Oakville, they knocked it down, and they built a house.
A Stone Mill house.
A Stone Mill house, actually. And so can you, one of you guys handle that question?
You want to start that off?
Yep, sure. There is a great deal of interest right now, currently, as you quite well pointed out, of the larger lot sizes. Anything south of the QEW in Burlington and Oakville is highly desirable. I would say most of our clientele in the design build section fits into that. They've wanted a big house, they want the granite, they want the maple cabinets, they want the en-suites and all the goodies, but they don't want to live in the fishbowl of the small, executive 45-foot lots in their 3,000 square foot house. So what they've done is they've come down into the more mature neighborhoods in Oakville and Burlington, tree-lined streets, parkettes at the end of the street, close to the lake, walking distance between everything, and they've come in and they've done exactly what you've said. We do come in on the design build side usually to assess the property to see if it's worth renovating around the existing structure. Most times it is not because of the existing services and the foundation issues. We have a rule of thumb, if you touch more than 3 walls, it's got to come down, right? So there is a huge amount of interest. So it gives you an alternative marketing strategy as well when you put your house on the market. And we do this already with our design build clients. We go into I'm just going to use the town of Oakville, into the zoning, and I calculate what the gross footprint for a new build would be and what the side yards would be considering the zoning, what the rear restrictions are, garages, all that kind of calculation I already do for our existing design build clients. And it gives you a little bit of an added marketing strategy as well to say, look, you can be 2 blocks from the lake shore in a gross footprint area of 3,600 square feet, 2 stories. And sometimes we have existing architectural designs from previous lots that, you look at it and you go, oh, you know what, that house over on, Winston would look really good on there. And away we go. And I do find that when you go through with clients into some of the older properties, they will have designs, the surveys, suggestions for that additional marketing strategy of, hey, if you don't like it the way it is, tear it down by all means. As long as I get what I need, I don't care what you do with it, right? So there is a lot of that in Burlington and Oakville occurring, and it is a great angle to play.
I would add, Aaron actually brought a piece of business to Stone Mill that we hadn't had before. Aaron has created a catalog of lots where people like yourself are saying, not sure if we're ready to go yet, but if you had somebody looking for a lot, I think I might have what you're looking for. And we've had a lot of open dialogue with clients related to that. And a lot of times we get the tour of the house and it's like, oh, we just redid the kitchen last year and we're doing the bathroom now, and then we've got a whole new media room going in the basement. And we're dying for you. And the reason why is it's kind of like, well, when the digger comes 15 minutes later, it's going to be little splinters of wood at the end of the driveway. So, your $80,000 kitchen, sorry. And the interesting part with that, and I'm sorry, interesting part about that is even Mark and Tricia here went through when they actually were demolishing their home and they thought Habitat for Humanity, especially if we had some new cabinetry, etc. They don't want it. Unless it's like brand new and maybe possibly a factory second, they don't want it. Like, you literally have to beg them to give them a year-old kitchen. So it's really going to be the more original the house is for us as a design build company, the better it is. And keep in mind that the person buying the lot is not going to pay for the extra. They're either going to tenant the property or tear it down right away, or even possibly live in it and just know that it's not forever. It's for the next 6 to 12 months at best. So they're not going to appreciate the work that you've put in, or the dollars and pennies, or they don't want to pay for it either.
Does Stone Mill, will these folks come out, look at the house, and help you out and say, at no charge, we'll come in and say, okay, well, we realize you're not listing right away, but these are some of the things that you might want to look at doing over the next 2 to 5 years before you list the house?
Yes, we do. We offer the home staging services, and the benefit to the home staging services is that the home stager we use is a contractor's daughter with an architectural technology background. So she may look like a girl, but she knows a lot about construction. So certainly she understands a couple of things. First, you're selling your house. Second, you don't want to put any more money into it, or any needless money into it. You don't leave any money on the table. And that goes back to Aaron's point about, am I getting a return? And then her job is really to create the recipe. Here's a list of things that need to be done, room by room, and a priority sequence. Get as much of it done as you possibly can, giving yourself a timeline. And one of the reasons in the case of how Aaron and I like to work, and the rest of the people at Stone Mill that work with us, is that it's not unusual for us to get even somebody who's been in their house for 5 years. It may take us 2 to 4 weeks to get their house ready with their say-so and permission, because they have this list now and they're going, well, we're going to be going away, I've got family coming, we've got a job, they've got other responsibilities as well as trying to do these other tasks. So we kind of say, okay, so if these are the things that need to be done, you decide what your time allocation is, and then we'll look at a forward date as to putting that house on the market. So this is where Mark's coming in and saying, if you have the time, and we're 6 months, 12 months, 2 years away, we can do this at an orchestrated level that is comfortable for you.
And not only that, but I'll point out, Sandra, what we're going to do is, rather than putting a survey in the actual kit that you have today, kind of just asking you about the seminar, what you thought, obviously ways that we could improve it, or topics that you want to hear next time. I've also put in there, if you want to be contacted by Stone Mill, here's your opportunity to have them come in, no charge, no pressure, okay? Because I'll tell you, in most cases, when you go have a real estate company come in for a free assessment, you're now on the list, okay? And once you're on the list, you're going to get bombarded and harassed until the cows come home. So this is your opportunity that you can have somebody come in. First of all, tell you what they think your house is worth in today's market, post-correction, okay? Because I can tell you that the couple of clients that have sold in the last little bit, their information was, well, we had a house sell down the street last year at $380,000. Ours should easily be worth that. Not realizing that obviously the market has corrected significantly in that period of time, number one. Number two, a lot more houses that have gone up north of 5 since then that are in a competitive price range to theirs, right? Things like that. So this is going to be your opportunity. We're going to send self-addressed stamped envelopes. So if you guys could fill out those surveys, send them back. If you don't want to be contacted, great. Just don't, at the bottom, don't tick the box. And I won't forward your name to Stone Mill. But if you want a completely no obligation, no hassle, help from Aaron or Ron to look at your house, then by all means let me know and I will put you in contact with them.